And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, the budget is coming up later this month, and whilst the whole thing hasn't been revealed as of yet, what we do know is that there is going to be some imminent tax rises and a huge U-turn on their manifesto pledges. No surprises really there. However, the internet has gone into meltdown as Rachel Reeves' past has surfaced, and quite frankly, when you watch this video a year later, it's absolutely shocking. It really is how this government is getting away with just plain-faced lying to people, to their constituents, and not bearing any responsibility for what they say and do something else later on. It's absolutely horrible. It's manipulation. It's just horrid. Guys, we're going to watch this video, look at some reaction, but as always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more. So, yes, on Sky, they reacted to this morning. Essentially, as you can see, Rachel Reeves wearing a poppy. This was pretty much a year ago to the date, and listen to Rachel Reeves. This is really shocking.
She said this before, then she discovered it was a problem. Will we discover in 2 years' time that there's some reason why they've got to go up? No. Or is this an absolute commitment?
It's an absolute commitment. But let me just say this. We've now wiped the slate clean under the mismanagement and the chaos of the previous government. It's now on us. We've put everything out into the open. Okay. We've set the spending envelope for the course of this parliament. But we don't need to come back for more. We've done that now. We've wiped the slate clean.
So you're saying, actually, there's not going to be an Oliver Twist moment. You're not going to come back and say, we want another tax rise. Or if you did, that would be a huge failure for your government, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be able to write 5 years' worth of budgets on this show today, but what we have done, there's no need.
Will there be more tax rises?
You're right, Trevor. There is no need to come back with another budget like this. We never need to do that again. We've now, Trevor, set the spending envelope for the remainder of this parliament. We don't need to increase taxes further. We need to do two things now. We need to reform our public services to make sure they work better, and we need to grow our economy.
That really is shocking, isn't it? It truly is shocking. I mean, listening to her 1 year ago just speak like that, that is diabolical. That really is. Hearing that again a year later, obviously this clip surfacing courtesy of sort of Sky News, but that's disgusting. It really is disgusting. Just full of lies, just full of U-turns, and just deceiving the public at all times. Absolutely shocking. Guys, let's get some reaction from here as well.
She's got to go. I think it's scandalous if she puts 2 pence on income tax. You know, she made promises. The Labour Party, the manifesto, they were given this massive majority, and there would have been people who decided to vote for Labour because of that promise not to charge them some more income tax or VAT or the national insurance. There would have been people, their hands would have been wavering over which box to tick on the polling day, and they'd have said, I tell you what, 2 pence, I tell you what, they're not going to put income tax up. I'm going to vote for Labour. It's awful. And unless there is like a national crisis, unless we have to go to war, or unless there is some sort of, now I'm not going to say COVID, because we've learned from COVID lessons and lockdowns, but unless there is some sort of medical crisis, the equivalent in our minds of COVID, when we got it wrong, but if something was to replace that, and there was some national crisis, then he can get on the dispatch box and say, now listen, I know we promised not to raise income tax, but look, we're going to war. Look, we're at this emergency.
What is the national crisis is that she's crashed the economy. That's the only way to get the money.
If she puts 2 pence on the income tax, I think it's awful. She's got to go. She's lost all of her integrity. I don't want to hear 14 years of Conservative rule. God. I don't want to hear Brexit. I want to hear how the hell she's going to dig us out of this hole. Well, she's promised.
Well, I don't know whether you heard her speech where she blamed absolutely everybody apart from anything that she's done. Ed Gemmell.
The last bit of what Danny said, I actually agree with. But actually, no, she shouldn't. And I think there's 2 reasons why she shouldn't be resigning. One is I don't think it's her that should be resigning, and the other one is what I want to see her doing and what I want to see before I would require that. So first thing is she's the accountant. She's the finance director. She's not the CEO.
No, she's complaints.
No, hang on. She's not the CEO and she's not the board. She's not the board director. She's not a cabinet.
She's the boss.
No, she's not the boss. The boss is Keir Starmer.
No, the Chancellor. No.
I know what
you get away with that.
Right.
She's the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yes, I absolutely get that. But in UK PLC, she's the finance director, OK? And we've got a CEO and we've got a board that makes the decision. And in my opinion, That's where the responsibility is. I'm not saying she has no responsibility at all. She's a very important part of that board, absolutely. I think the second bit is, and I would say it differently to the way Danny did, if she's going to do it, I want to know why. And I want to know why, and Danny was talking about all the disasters and how to pay for it, whereas for me, it's, I want to know why, because you're going to get us to nirvana, you're going to get us to a vision, you're going to make life better. How are you going to do it? So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break my manifesto policy. Why? Pledge. Because what I want to do is make your life better, and I'm going to do it by growing the economy by 20%, putting 20 billion onto the economy every week. You know, I'm really going to go gangbusters for you. And in order to do that, I need 2p of your income tax for the next 5 years to do it. And I need to do that, and I need to do that. That's what I want to hear. And if I hear that, no, she shouldn't resign.
What if you hear saying, look, part of this is my fault, I shouldn't have done this and that, I'm going to reverse this, I'm going to reverse that, but I'm going to do this instead? Would you then have more support for her as well? She should say when she's messed up, because she has.
But the only way I give her support is if she shows me where she's going. I don't want her to say, got a problem here, paper over the crack.
I think the manifesto is so sacrosanct, and what you're running the risk of, Ed, is if you legitimise Rachel Reeves to say, look, here's how we're going to get to nirvana, but it's going to cost you 2 pennies in the pound, then in future administrations, people are going to just make all of these promises knowing that they can get out of jail with the Reeve excuse. What we'll do, we'll get in, we'll promise them the earth, and then after 18 months, we'll say, listen, we're going to have to change the manifesto because we're going to make you go to nirvana quicker.
Yeah,
I think it's so sacred, you cannot alter the manifesto, sorry.
Right, but I'm hearing what you're saying, trying to put it into a corporate context, and that's what I think of UK PLC and trying to get to a place where we put more money into the pocket of UK PLC. And I think it'd be like going to the bank and saying, I saw the details of our loan, this is actually what we promised to do. Situations change, but we've got a really positive way of getting there. We know where we're going. We need to change those conditions.
But the bank only gave you the loan based on the requirements that you told them before they gave you the loan. So you've pledged to give the bank the details. They gave you the loan, and now you're going back to the bank to say, actually, the details I gave you, which were fundamental to you agreeing the loan, we've now changed. The bank will say, well, why did we lend you the money in the first place?
Look, well, I think we're not so far apart, because I think what I'm saying is you're going back and saying, I've got a much better plan, we've learned a bit more and we've done it, we've innovated, we've got here, now we can do better, and let's do it. I think the difference in this case is the bank could say, if you do that, I'm pulling your loan away, whereas we can't as voters, because we've got to wait until the next election.
Exactly. Well, I agree with the guy on the left there, of course. Look, some things, you can address something that changes, maybe, in life, but they continuously blame other governments. And you heard her in that last video. She said, we'll wipe the slate clean. This was this time last year. We'll wipe the slate clean now. All of the responsibility is on us. All we have heard for the last year to this day is still blaming the Tories, even though she said that the responsibility is on us now. And the responsibility is on her. And the only way she could ever get around this is actually own up and go, look, I've fucked up big time and I need to try and do it. They will never do that. They will never take accountability. Covert narcissists can't take accountability. It's always blame, 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 blame. And the Labour Party is full of them. Guys, do let me know your thoughts on this down there in the comment section below. What do you make of Reeves? And what do you make of that her past surfacing at this time? Let me know in the comments. See you all later. Take care. Peace.